While we're discussing Kevin Durant, we have to discuss his legacy. This is something that you love to talk about, Jalen. Him moving teams. You don't want to see him in 4 different uniforms. Like, you love legacy talk. And there's been so much discussion of his legacy and the moves that he's made going from the Thunder to the Warriors. And he went to Twitter and he asked Twitter, did you add to your legacy today? And then he started responding to people. Someone emptied the dishwasher, great leadership. Someone else drank 4.5 cups of coffee. That's not enough. Legacy points deducted. So he's having fun on Twitter with his legacy. So what do you think about him playing on Twitter about it? And also, like, what do you think about his legacy? Like, is going to another team going to affect the way you view him in his career?
Well, his overall legacy is going to have him be one of the top 20 NBA players of all time.
All time.
An elite scorer who flirted with 50, 40, 90, and revolutionized in a lot of ways what you expect from a 6'11 player who's a knockdown shooter who can get his own shot off the dribble. Like, he's literally Iceberg Slim shooting trays from the suburbs. He's that deal. But here's what I'll say. The one thing about hopping on Twitter and responding to people, that means you're listening. And the one thing about KD his entire career, whether it was burner accounts, when he was talking about Russell Westbrook, whether he was talking about the Oklahoma City franchise, it don't matter how he replies. You know that he's listening. Mm-hmm. And for the fact that he's listening, it lets you know something that I've always said. Championship rings, they don't always buy happiness for a lifetime. When I see Scottie Pippen, I see a player that's a 6-time champion, one of the top 50 players of all time. And you know what the public does? They disrespect my guy by calling him Robin. Like, just disrespect him for so many years, to the point where when The Last Dance comes out, he can't even enjoy it. So let's talk KD. When you leave OKC, when you leave to go to the Golden State Warriors and y'all win championships, it's one thing to wear those rings. But unlike LeBron went back to Cleveland, and as an all-time great player, he delivered because he knew everybody was going to call him a ring chaser. You know why? When he went to Miami to join D. Wade and Chris Bosh, that's what he was. You know that, right?
What's wrong with being a ring chaser?
And I'm not saying that if I'm LeBron or KD at that point in my career, I understand why a great player wants to take championships off the table when it comes to the conversation for their all-time great legacy. But LeBron also knew that I need to go back and win one in Cleveland, which basically equals, if not eclipses, the 2 he won in Miami. They didn't get not 5, not 6, not 7, but they did get 2. So let's talk about KD. When you go to the Warriors and everybody acknowledges that you joined the 73-win team, and yes, you were the best player on 2 teams that won the championship. He knows what Kyrie and you know. He still has to go somewhere else and be that dude to validate his, not yours, not mine, not somebody on Twitter washing dishes, not somebody on Twitter that's washing their car. His all-time great legacy. So you team up with Kyrie Irving, and both of you guys are going to show, I can win without the Warriors, I can win without LeBron James. As a matter of fact, we're going to get James Harden to come join us. So now when that doesn't work, KD the entire season goes back and forth with people about how he's not really affected about the noise, when he's really affected about the noise. And so now, when people are talking about his legacy conversation, he knows, depending on where he goes, people are gonna say he had to hitch his boat or he had to hitch his game to somebody else's in order to be all-time great, in particular a champion. So he knows that this conversation is gonna be had. That's why he's getting in front of it right now.
Well, Jalen, you say he's listening. So Kevin Durant, I have a message for you. Chase all the rings. Go to 17 different teams. I'm not like Jalen. I want to see you in all the uniforms. You can play with LeBron and AD. You can play with Jimmy Buckets. You can play with Chris Paul again. Join whatever team you want. Make yourself happy. Whatever it takes to make you happy, you do that. Your legacy is cemented. As Jalen started at the very beginning, you're a top 20 player that ever played basketball.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.